The villagers of Amakohia feared only two things: the wrath of the gods and the strange addiction of Nkem, the palm wine tapper. Nkem was no ordinary man. He was strong like a buffalo, climbed palm trees faster than a monkey, and could drink a full calabash of palm wine in one gulp. But his addiction was not to palm wine, it was to stories. Not just any stories, but the kind told by the spirits of the forest. Every night, instead of going home, Nkem would sit under the ancient apoka tree at the edge of the village, waiting. And as soon as the moon rose, they would come, the whispering voices, the unseen beings, telling him stories of things no human should know. At first, the villagers thought it was a joke. Then strange things began to happen. One night, Nkem returned home late, his eyes wild. He told his wife, Adiz, about a story he had heard from the spirits, about an old woman who turned into a snake and devoured her own children. The next morning, an old widow in the village was found dead, her body covered in snake bites. The people whispered. Another night, Nkem came back shaking. He spoke of a man who stole yams from his brother's farm, only to wake up and find his stomach filled with wriggling maggots. The next day, a well-known thief in the village was found screaming, his belly swollen like a pot, maggots spilling from his mouth. Fear gripped Amakohia. The Dibia, or village priest, warned Nkem, "Leave the spirits alone. You are meddling with things beyond you." But Nkem laughed. "I cannot stop. Their stories are sweeter than palm wine, more powerful than the sun." Then came the night of the great story. Nkem sat under the apoka tree, waiting. But this time, the spirits were silent. The air grew cold. The moon disappeared behind dark clouds. Then, a voice, deeper than thunder, spoke. "Tonight, we tell the last story." Nkem leaned forward eagerly. It is about a man who could not stop listening until he became part of the story. Nkem's heart pounded. "Go on," he whispered. The wind howled. Shadows moved. 1,000 unseen eyes watched him. Nkem thought he was safe until he realized the story was about him. Nkem froze. What? And on this very night, the story must end. A cold hand gripped his shoulder. Nkem screamed. The villagers heard his cries but were too afraid to check. By dawn, they gathered at the apoka tree. But Nkem was gone. Only his footprints remained, leading deep into the forest, stopping suddenly, as if he had vanished into thin air. From that day, every night, when the moon rose, the wind carried whispers through Amakohia, telling the story of Nkem, the man who listened too much.